All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Well, if you're a Ravens fan, today's been kind of tough because Lamar has tested positive. And if you're a Packers fan, then that press conference by Aaron Rodgers and him airing out the franchise wasn't exactly positive. And if you're a Texans fan, the whole Deshaun, you know what? Forget about that. Football's back. Football's back. It don't matter what your team's going through. Let's focus on the fact that football is here. So I hope everybody's enjoying their day. So since training camp is officially go mode right now, and the Ravens had their first practice today, I feel now is the perfect time for me to drop my Ravens record prediction for the upcoming 2021 season. It would have been a lot more positive for me had the whole Lamar situation not happened today, but it is what it is. We're gonna work through it. So I got my predictions right here, and I'm just gonna go through it and give my takes on it for the most part. So here we go. Week 1, to start off the season, we're heading to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders on Monday Night Football. What a way to start off the season. We start off the season on primetime in Vegas. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's going to be a fun weekend for the Ravens. You're going to have guys that go out, they're going to play some cards, get on some slots, roll some dice, go to a couple clubs, and then they're going to blow out the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Yeah, I see this being a blowout. Not because the Raiders are a bad team, but because the Ravens historically just, for some reason, start off the season hot. Even if the offense proceeds to just fall and deviate as the season goes, or proceeds to be inconsistent as the season goes, for some reason, the first week of the season, or at least the first week of the first 2 weeks of the season, the Ravens are just a different team. It's like they've lived up to the potential that this team could be this year, and once they go from there, they can either fall off or continue to rise. 2019, they continued to rise. 2020, we were inconsistent and started to fall off. But that week 1 game is something different. It's not even just a Lamar thing, it's just a Ravens thing. Plenty of seasons we've started off with Flacco where the team would just they'll be hitting on all cylinders. All cylinders, man. Never gonna forget that time, man. We destroyed the Bills. It was Lamar's rookie season 2018. Flacco threw like 3 touchdowns. He hit all his targets. Brown, Snead, and Crabtree. It was crazy. Defense continued to cause turnovers with Peterman as quarterback. It was wild. But yeah, the Ravens always seem to start off hot to start off the season, so I'm going to pick them to take this one. Moving on to week 2. We go from Monday Night Football to Sunday Night Football, and of course, it's against the Kansas City Chiefs, the one team we have yet to beat under the Mahomes era. I'm going to be honest, guys. As a Ravens fan, easily, I can put this down and say right now, Ravens going to take this one. This is our year to take it, no question. But I don't work like that. Of course, when it actually gets to the prediction video leading up to that game, when the regular season is actually happening, I'm sure I'll say some things about what the Ravens need to do, and I'm sure I'll pick them because that's how I always do things. But in terms of my actual record predictions, I try to be as objective as I possibly can. So I always have to stay by strict rules. Now, last year, I actually broke that rule. I'm not doing it this year. When it comes to the Chiefs, this is a team the Ravens have proven that they cannot beat, or they have not beaten so far. Until you can prove that you can beat this team, you don't get the benefit of the doubt, even if it is in your building. So, because of that, I'm giving the Chiefs the win. This will be the first loss of the season for the Ravens. We're going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's my prediction based on right now. That could very well change by the time the season starts, but I'm going to mark it as an L. They have to prove me wrong. If you want to be the best, then go out there and beat the best. No question. This is one where I absolutely believe the Ravens can beat them, but they have to prove it. I can't just give you that win. So, yeah. They're going to take the loss on Sunday night based on my predictions. Hopefully that won't happen. As a Ravens fan, I want us to beat the Chiefs in our house on primetime. Hopefully that'll be the case. Moving on, week 3, we're going up against the Lions. I don't have to waste much time with this. The Lions are not beating us. They're not beating us with Jared Goff. They're not beating us. I don't have to waste time with that. They're not beating us. If we lose that game, I would have very serious concerns about this season. But they're not beating us. So moving on to week 4, Denver. We're going up against the Broncos. This one was actually very interesting for me. And I believe this one would vary depending on how the Aaron Rodgers situation would have gone. If Rodgers would have gotten traded to Denver, this becomes a much tougher game, and I'm not 100% sure I can sit here and say we beat the Broncos. Because the Broncos are a well-built team. They just need a quarterback. They're well-built on offense. They're well-built on defense. They got weapons. They are built. They've got a run game. They got a lot of things here. It's just the quarterback position that needs to be fixed. If they would have went out and traded for Aaron Rodgers and actually got him, this becomes a whole different game and a whole different season for the Broncos. But since I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to get traded there, I'm marking this down as W for the Ravens. This will put us at 3-1 on the season. Moving on, Monday Night Football against the Colts. Can you guys believe that? 3 primetime games in the first 5 weeks of the season. How does that work out? So, Colts, Monday Night Football. This is actually a home game, so this is going to be in Baltimore in M&T Bank Stadium. So, that's going to be nice. Maybe I might go to that. I don't know. So Monday Night Football in our house against the Colts. The Colts are a well-built team. It really just depends on how Carson Wentz performs. I think the Colts can get to the Super Bowl if Carson Wentz can get back to his 2017 form. If he can play like that, the Colts will be a seriously dangerous team. However, I think the Colts will not be able to come into our house this season and beat us. With the fans back, I'm telling you, the Ravens are about to be a different animal. So I think the Ravens are going to get the W over the Colts on Monday Night Football. This will put them at 4-1 on the season. Next up, we're going up against the Chargers. This is also a home game, so it's also going to be in Baltimore. Chargers are a great team. I expect big things out of Herbert and his offense. I'm expecting this team to make strides this year, but they still don't have a kicker, and I still don't trust them in close games because for some reason the Chargers just have bad luck. So I think the Ravens are going to pull out a victory in that one. Though knowing how talented the Chargers are, they may keep this close. Still, I'm going to pick the Ravens. Next up, we got the Bengals, and I'm putting this as a win. I'm going to say it right now. I think we're going to sweep the Bengals this season. We've been doing that the last couple years. I think we're sweeping the Bengals again this season. So I'm not going to waste time with this. I wish Joe Burrow the best of luck. Hopefully that offensive line doesn't get him killed again. The weapons they have is going to be great. I also don't trust Cincinnati's defense, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. Maybe they step up and shock everybody in the AFC North. Who knows? But I'm putting that down as a victory for the Ravens. I don't think we're losing to the Bengals, especially not in our house. After that, we are in the bye week. Week 8 is our bye week, so I think we're going to go into the bye week at 6-1, so that should be fine. That would actually be a great start for us for the most part. It'd be nice to go into the bye week at 6-1, but it does get harder as we go down. So week 9, in our house, we're going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Really? We got 4 straight home games? That's crazy. We're going up against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are a tough team. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, despite all the history I've had with Cousins, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. The Vikings are a good team. However, I still think the Ravens are going to win. I just feel like they're going to be monsters at home with the fan base back and just the fans being back in the stadium is going to do wonders for the Ravens because we've always been a team that's fed off our crowd. So for them to be back, it's going to be something different. So I'm going to put this as a win. Next up, we're going on the road to Miami, heading to South Beach. So we're taking on the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. This is a tough game. I don't care what nobody says, this is a tough game. The Dolphins are on the rise. They've got a lot of talent. This team should have been a playoff team last year. They went 10-6. This team, do not underestimate it. Do not underestimate Tua. Tua's my guy. I know what this guy's capable of. Do not underestimate them. The Dolphins have made a lot of key moves over the last 2 years to set this up. They're going to be a threat. This is my dark horse to get to the Super Bowl, so I'm not underestimating them in the slightest. This could have easily been a loss on my meter here. I could have easily put it there. However, I feel like we're going to get to know what the Dolphins are at that point, but I feel like the Ravens can edge it out. This will be a tough game. It'll be one of the toughest games the Ravens have this season. That defense is legit. The weapons they have is legit. This Dolphins team's on the rise, but I think the Ravens can edge out a win right now. So moving on to week 11, we got the Bears. I have no clue how this is going to go. If it's the Bears with Andy Dalton as quarterback, easy win. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. Whether it's Fields, it don't matter who's the quarterback. I still think the Ravens are going to be able to get the win. It's not going to be easy, though, because that Bears defense is no joke. So that's going to keep it relatively competitive. But at the same time, our defense is no joke, and I like our chances against the Bears. Though this is in Chicago, so it's on the road, that is tricky. So I think it's going to be a much closer game than we expect it to be or what it should be. But I still think the Ravens are going to come out with the victory. They're going to take down the Bears for the most part. I think that's going to be the case. So moving on to week 12, we have the Cleveland Browns coming to Baltimore for Sunday Night Football. Another primetime game. Man, we already know about the primetime games. We've already gone through the schedule. Now, for me, I believe we're going to beat the Browns at home. I think we're beating the Browns in our house, just like we did last year. I don't think we're going to crush them the way we did last year when they came to Baltimore, but I do believe we're going to still beat them in our house. I think this Ravens team, like I've said before, they're going to be monsters. They're going to be monsters in our stadium this season. They're not going to really be losing home games. So I think the Browns are going to take the victory here. Now, this one's tough. I think there's a break. This is where I look at my situation and said, when I look at the schedule, this is where I see a tough road for them. If the Ravens can get past these 3 games right here and come out with victories, I'm gonna be honest, I think they can go like 16-1. If they can win these next 3 games, they're going 16-1 on the season. So let's start. Week 13, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Heinz Field. I'm putting that as a loss. I think we're gonna lose in Pittsburgh this season. I feel like we're gonna split with the Steelers, so I'm putting that as a loss. Next up, Cleveland in Cleveland. So this is a road game. Once again, I'm putting that as a loss. Both Cleveland and Pittsburgh this year, I feel we're splitting with both those teams. We're going to sweep Cincinnati. We're going to lose 1 game to Pittsburgh and lose 1 game to Cleveland. We're going to finish with a divisional record of 4-2. That's just how I think it's going to be for the season. The same could potentially be said for either team, or for either of the other teams. But I think we're just going to split with these 2 teams and we're going to sweep the Bengals. So that's going to be our divisional record, 4-2. Next up, afterward, week 15, the Green Bay Packers. Now, they're actually coming to Baltimore, and this one is interesting. I actually put this one as a loss. For me, I looked at this and said, this could be a loss, especially with Aaron Rodgers, this being the last dance potentially for Aaron Rodgers and this Packers team. What they were last year compared to what they're about to be this year, if Aaron Rodgers just completely dials in and says, this is going to be my final year in Green Bay, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to get us to a Super Bowl. I could see them coming into Baltimore and defeating us. So I look at this 3-game stretch and I see 3 losses. And I think these 3 losses can help bring us, circle us back. Because if you're looking at our schedule, up until this point, we would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd be 10-1 at this point. So I think we'd be 10-1. And, with the Ravens vlog, looking at our schedule, 10-1, only 1 loss up to this point. Sometime we'll get back to our 2019 form where some of the fan base will get arrogant and cocky and talk about us being the best team in the league. These 3 games are going to humble us for the most part. And I think these 3 losses are going to come at a key moment that can really wake this team up and prepare them for the postseason. Because sometimes, the Ravens tend to have a tendency where if they're playing at a high level, both the fan base and sometimes the players to an extent, they get a little bit ahead of themselves and they kind of look towards Super Bowl instead of focusing on the goal. Now, of course, if the Ravens win these 3 games, alongside of winning all these other games, we're going 16-1. If they come in with a mentality that's we're not going to lose, if they manage to sweep Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and they win this game against the Packers, 16-1. I can see that happening. 16-1. But I'm going to put this as 3 losses, and I think these losses will help build more character for the Ravens, and it'll prepare them to really deal with the postseason. And because of that, I feel like they're going to finish off the season in the right direction. Week 16, going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, that's a W. We're going to sweep the Bengals, in my opinion. Week 17 against the Rams, that's another W. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we can pull that off. And then Week 18 to finish off the season. This will be in Baltimore, and we will get a victory. So I think at the end of the day, I'm looking towards 12-5/13-4 for the Ravens record this season. Now, I have 13-4 here based on my list. However, there were 2 teams where I looked at and said we could potentially lose. The Rams and the Dolphins. I looked at the Rams and the Dolphins and said, those are 2 games we could potentially lose. The Dolphins are a Super Bowl contending team. What they were missing was a quarterback, and Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback. So if he can play at the level he was playing in some of his best years when he was with Detroit, if he can play it here, my God, that's going to be terrifying. We could potentially lose that game. And with the Dolphins, I've already talked about them being my dark horse Super Bowl team. So if we end up going up against them, especially since this will be a road game, and on primetime, it's very possible they could steal a win. However, I put those as wins for the Ravens, and that will put us at 13-4, though I'm leaning more towards 12-5 than 13-4. So yeah, because of that, that is my list. I believe the Ravens will be in the range between 12-5/13-4. That big 3-game losing streak that I see happening, that will be a moment where the Ravens will be able to recollect themselves, get themselves focused. You're getting close to the postseason. Now you're engaged. That was the last kick you needed to completely get you back in the game and move forward. Obviously, I could be very wrong in that, and all of a sudden they beat those 3 teams. Man, can you imagine if they sweep these guys? If they sweep Cleveland and Pittsburgh as well as Cincinnati, my God, they're going to be 16-1. I'm going to say it right now. If they sweep the division, if they sweep all their opponents in the division, they're going to be 16-1. Very well. But yeah, my final record prediction right now is between 12-5 and 13-4. Maybe that'll change before the regular season starts. I might, make another video regarding potential changes that happen here. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. With that being said, that is all I got, man. And yeah, I'm going to be between the 12-5 and 13-4 range. Cannot wait for the season to start. Training camp's already going on, and we'll just see what happens. That's all I got, man, and I'm out of here. Peace!